aren't you lucky? Don't you feel fortunate? You should. If you don't feel fortunate for being here and having the opportunity to listen to this show, I want you to start all over again. I want you to go back to bed, get back up, and then remember how fortunate you are to have Student of the Gun Radio available to you. So,
I'm very fortunate. I feel very fortunate to be able to speak directly to you that is listening.
Right. It's fortuitous that we're all here today. That means lucky. I know what it means. All right, man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We're going to talk about just for a little bit, not for too long, Justice for Juicy. We got a special Brownells update for you guys today. It's a special update, so pay attention. It's a limited time offer, so pay attention. We got a Duracoat Finished Firearm of the Week for you, and then we're going to talk about Nuremberg. And for you people who are Gen Zs or millennials or who are completely and totally failed by the public education system, we're going to explain to you what Nuremberg is, what it means, and why it's important. So pay attention, freaks. It's going to be a big day.
Welcome to Student of the Gun Radio, proudly brought to you from the SDS Imports studio. If you want quality that's affordable, visit sdsimports.com. We don't just talk guns and gear, we also discuss current events and politics, because guns are politics. Now sit back and listen louder to your co-host, CEO of Full 30, Jared Markle, and your beloved host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
All right. Yes, indeed. So before we get started, boys, how much snow did you get on the ground over there in the valley?
A few inches. Not as much as you.
Yeah, here we got, I don't know how many inches, but it has pretty much not stopped snowing since yesterday around 11 a.m.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like
So
it's like little bits and then big and then little. It's been kind of coming in waves, but it's been coming a lot. Like it basically hasn't stopped.
So yesterday morning, I woke up and they had been predicting snow the night before, and they're like, "Oh, it's going to snow all night long," And so I got up and I walked out. I looked out the window, and there's like maybe an inch of snow on the ground. I'm like, "Please, Panda, please." So I'm like, well, that was something, because your mom said, she goes, "Oh, it's a winter storm advisory, and they're saying 5 to 8 inches before it's done." And I'm like, okay, whatever. So we started, your mom made breakfast, and I looked, and she's, "Oh, look, it's snowing outside." So we looked, and it was about 8 o'clock in the morning or so. Well, it kept snowing from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and it just kept on going. And I thought, well, it's got to be at least 9 inches. And then I was like, it's got to be at least a foot, right? And I'm like, So we have a picnic table on our patio, and you know how picnic tables are. They in the snow they have this perfect.
Are they very
space
picnicky?
Yeah, they have this perfect space underneath them where there's no snow. But on top, it's a really good barometer for how much snow is falling, right? Because the wind wasn't blowing. That was the nice thing about yesterday, is the wind hardly blew at all. The snow was just coming like basically straight down. So I got my tape measure, and I went out at a little bit after 8 p.m. and I thought, I'll just measure this. It was 16 inches of snow. So in 12 hours, we got about 15 or so inches of snow. In 24 hours, we got 16 inches of snow. Woo! It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And for those of you that wondered, Wyoming's closed. Come back tomorrow.
Moose outside should have told you.
Yeah, Moose out front should have told you, folks. Wyoming's closed. Come back in a couple of days. 80 was closed. It was shut down completely from Rollins to Laramie, and then they had rolling closures throughout the entire state. So if you were trying to get east to west on 80 yesterday in Wyoming, the answer was basically no. Just go find a parking lot somewhere, or go to a truck stop and watch TV or something, because you ain't getting across the state. It's not happening. Oh, so that's your weather update, freaks. You were wondering, and that worked in perfectly with the finished firearm of the week. Matter of fact, Zach, I sent you that picture of the PSL on the chop and stump.
Yes, indeed, you did.
That picture was taken at 9 a.m.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
One moment, and I will get that picture ready for.
But first and foremost, let's. We got a Brownell's a quick bullet point for you. All right, a quick bullet point. So I got an email from Brownell's because I'm on the list. I'm on the list. So they are working with a company called Dixon Supply, LLC, to make Brownell's flannel shirts. Super nice, thick, kind of shirt that you'll buy and you'll have it for 20 years if you take care of it. And in order to commemorate the launch of their these Dixon Supply Brownell shirts, they're even labeled Dixon Brownell's Big Iron shirts, right? Well, they're doing a giveaway. They're giving away a freaking BRN 180 rifle. Now. Give it away now. And you can enter to win that. All you have to do is go to the hyperlink that we put in the show notes. Hyperlink? What is that? It's a link. It's the blue words that you click on. Go to the blue words and make the arrow. Put the arrow over the blue words and tap your finger twice. So if you put your finger over the blue words and tap the arrow twice, you can sign up. And it's one of those, you can sign up many ways. You can sign up with your email address or with your Twitter account or with your Facebook account or whatever. But as I'm speaking the words into this microphone, this is why I did it today. You only have 4 days left to sign up. So you got to get on it.
And if you're listening to this on Monday when this drops, you've got it ends tomorrow. So do it.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you want to
So
give
do it.
So it ends on Tuesday? Or
Yep.
Tuesday is the last
It ends on December 14th.
There we go.
Yep.
It ends on December 14th. So if you're listening to this
so-
in the future, you still have time.
If you're listening to today or Monday, you still have time. So that's the breaking bullet news for right now. The Big Iron giveaway, it's going on. Doesn't cost you anything to get in. And there you go. So you're welcome. All right, moving on. If you're listening live right now on the Discord, or if you happen to be one of the few people on Fascist Book Live, if you're on the Student of the Gun Fascist Book Live, you can ask a question. Yes, indeed. Well, Peter Wiktorski says, is it time for a Real Men Wear Thermal series?
Real men wear flannel.
Yeah, well, real men actually have snowsuits. And
there's
real
no
men are
such
going to be
no such thing
out
as
their
bad
snowsuits.
weather, just bad clothing.
That's right. And real men are going to be busting out. Actually, there's enough snow on the ground to justify snowshoes right now. I asked your mom, I said, you want to go snowshoeing with me? And she's like, sure, I'll go.
Whoa, she said,
Sure, I'll go with you. And I thought, I better get those things out and make her put them on. Or she goes, but what if I fall? And I said, well, then
I'll pick you up, honey.
just roll around like a turtle and they'll find you there in the spring.
Just do what you did when we were getting a Christmas tree. You'll be fine.
Roll. Just roll down, just drop and roll down the hill. Oh, man. And if you haven't followed our socialist media, I posted kind of a cool festive photograph yesterday. I was in the mood, so I went ahead and made myself a Christmas sweater.
It doesn't qualify for an ugly Christmas sweater, though.
It doesn't? How does it not
because
qualify?
it's not ugly.
You don't think it's ugly enough?
No, it actually looks pretty good. Yeah, I think that would be the winner of the ugly. I'm
gonna wear
what
that.
do they call them now?
I don't know.
The wet T-shirt contest.
Ugly Christmas contest.
No, that's a different thing.
So yeah, I am gonna wear that to all the holiday festivities this year. I think I should. Should I wear that to your mom's Christmas party? It's this Saturday.
Yes.
Go for it.
You think those? Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm going to a Christmas party with a whole bunch of cowboys. I don't know if they'll get it. Because
well, I mean, they're
they're kind of
right.
sheltered. They're kind of sheltered.
I mean,
Right.
They live the good
old.
life. That's the truth.
That is true. The movie's 30 years old.
Yeah. What is good, beautiful, and true? Cowboys know exactly what that is.
All right, moving on. Zach, if you want to put a picture up of the of my ugly Christmas sweater, you can do that. But if you've got questions, post them in the comments, and if we feel that they are pertinent, we will get to them. And that is my promise to you. That is my loose promise to you. All right, hashtag justice for Juicy. Dave Chappelle called this over a year ago. Yep. So y'all remember when during the 2020 presidential campaign, when the actor, I don't know if he's even qualified as an actor, but the actor, oh yeah, was this January 29th, 2020? That he claimed that he was attacked. He was attacked by two men wearing red MAGA hats at 2:00 in the morning in Chicago while he was on his way home from Subway. Subway? Sandwiches?
Yeah.
What? It's 2:00 in the morning and you decided, I need to eat fresh? What? What's going on? So the left immediately, with zero proof, with no arrests, no suspects, only the word of Juicy. Only the word of Juicy. The left erupted on Twitter and in the blogosphere and so forth. Now help me out, guys. You guys remember this when the Hollywood leftists ran, some of them actually injured themselves running across their posh living rooms, tripping over their $5,000 coffee tables to try and get to their phones so they could be the first ones to tweet justice for Juicy. And that there were some that went so far as to demand that President Trump go public and basically issue an apology. They wanted him to address this. It was his supporters. It was his fault by proxy. It was his fault that this happened. And that's what happens in a country where you have a mean-spirited, mean-tweeting man as a president. Well, if you guys didn't watch this current Chappelle special, but the one before that, the one from last year, he addressed that. And the left, remember when he first addressed it and the left went crazy and attacked him? How dare you? And why is the black community being silent? And Dave explained in his own words why the black community, they're like, why is the black community supporting Juicy? And then he said, we are with our silence because we know that mother lover is guilty. You're like, and he did the whole thing. Can you imagine being the cop who was taking that statement? And like, all right, no, what happened now? MAGA hats? Downtown Chicago?
And you still have the noose around your neck.
Yeah, and what? Does it what? And when the Nigerian brothers last year, the Nigerian brothers came out and they had the receipts. They had the credit card receipts where they went and bought all the stuff for the hate crime, the rope and the bleach and the everything, right? And like, so we have the receipts where you went to a hardware store and bought all this stuff to stage the attack. We have the Nigerian brothers. You can't write this crap, man. The Nigerian brothers apparently were wannabe actors, models / they were like Fabio, they were actors / models, or was it models / actors? And not the other way around. I thank you for this award for the best model / actor. The Slashy. Remember the Slashy from Zoolander? You voted me the best model / actor.
That's Fabio,
not
right?
Fabio, and not the other way around. So they were models / actors. And Juicy paid them. So they came out and they're like, yeah, Juicy paid us. And we set it all up, and he told us what to do. And the left was still like, no! They're lying.
January 29th, 2019 from
2019. Okay.
January 29th, 2019 from this lady named Kamala Harris. It says, Juicy Smollett is one of the kindest, most gentle human beings I know. I pray for his quick recovery. This was an attempted modern-day lynching. No one should have fear for their life because of their sexuality or color of their skin. We must confront this hate.
Save that. So what I went and I do a lot of those. So kind of like Alec Baldwin's, I wonder what it feels like to wrongfully kill someone. That didn't age well. See that, and the funny thing is, Jared, Zach, and the whole world, these psycho leftists with their freaking hashtag everything posts, do they not think that goes out into the interblogosphere, right? It's going out onto the World Wide Web, and it's going to be there.
Well,
so in a year or two,
not always.
Well, yeah, unless Google gets a hold of it. But it's easy for people to screenshot that kind of crap and save that crap and so forth. And
like the Biden saying that we can't just leave foreign American weapons in foreign countries.
That's right. We can't just do that. Oh, I had an idea, or I had a thought. We need to look this up.
What was her name?
And you know what ITAR is?
Yeah.
It's the International Traffic in Arms Regulations. So there are certain things that you are allowed to buy and have in the United States, but it's against the law for you to ship them out of the United States.
Yeah.
For instance, you can go to many places and buy, like right now, you could buy a thermal optic as an American and have it sent to you at your house in America. But you are not allowed to take that and send it to Iraq or Iran or out of the country. Same thing with tritium and certain radio devices and so on and so forth. Only the government's allowed to do that. See, the government has a monopoly on that. If you violate ITAR, if you're a wholesaler, retailer, whatever, manufacturer, and you violate ITAR, business fines, I just looked it up, ITAR violations carry serious consequences. A business violator can be fined up to $1 million per violation. Personal civil penalties. So if you're just like a dude, let's say you are an idiot and you buy a thermal, you box it up and you ship it to your bro in Mexico City, and they find out about it, you can be fined up to $500,000, right? Because these are felonies. How many ITAR felonies did Joe Biden commit? How many violations of ITAR did Joe Biden commit? I don't know if we could even count them. His ITAR violations would total in the trillions. If it's $1 million per violation, and we left $80 billion worth of a classified military hardware, to include top of the line Gen 3 Plus night vision gear, top of the line thermal optics, top of the line drone technology, was all left and given to our enemies in Afghanistan. And now it's finding its way into our enemies' hands in Iran, Iraq, China. I think we should dive into that. And I want to know why not one person in the Senate or Congress has brought this up and has called for the Biden administration to be charged with ITAR violations. Because if it was you, the famous but incompetent would be up your rectum. If it was you or I, they would be here with the black helicopters and the black vans, and they'd be up our rectums. So, just wondering.
So,
all right, moving on. Yeah, we're all done with justice for Juicy right now. We've got a Durcoat finished firearm of the week, and it's a long one, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit it all on camera. Like I said, it's a long one, and I don't know if it'll be able to fit in the camera. I'm just going to let that go.
I was just going to let it go.
You're not going to say that's
Nope.
what she said or anything. Okay. All right. So there you go. Starting at the butt, then coming down. Whoop, still going. And then.
Oh, yeah.
So what I promised you guys, or what I told you I was going to do about a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, was that I had ordered the mission-specific camouflage. And mission-specific from Duracoat is removable. It's not 100% permanent because it's meant to be changed. And so what I did with the PSL 54 is I put a little bit of black in certain places. Then I took my special template material and I put basically little, I don't know what you want to call them, stick marks or shadow marks or whatever. Like here, like right there, I put a shadow mark right there, a shadow mark right there. Just a few shadow marks just to break it up, right? So I put the shadow marks in black, taped them over. Then I broke out the white, the white mission specific, and did my deed there. I took the scope off first. I did not want to paint the scope, and the scope's gray anyway, so it kind of blends. Now, come springtime, I can take the remover and spray the remover all over it, and take a rag and a scratch pad and clean it up, and it'll be back down to the original finish. And then I can put brown or green or whatever else on it, and I probably will do that come April or May time frame. Did you put the picture up there, Zach? I don't see the live feed.
Yeah, I put up both pictures.
Okay, cool. Fantastic. So there you go. That is the mission-specific camouflage, and I was aided by the weather yesterday. I was able to go out and take that picture. It's a good thing I took it when I did, because if I tried to do it later in the day, the gun would have just been buried in the snow. They're like, you don't camouflage your guns. You drop them, you'll lose them. Yeah, that's true. But don't drop it. Don't drop it. All right. So there you go. Duracoat mission specific. Now, when you say both pictures of my gun?
There's the vertical picture, and then there's the horizontal picture.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we do have a special Duracoat firearm finished firearm of the week submitted from one of you folk, and Zach's got the picture.
Oh,
so,
1 second, and I will pull those up.
Zach says one of these, one of those, these ones. Yeah, I got that, Zach. I understand. I didn't know if you had posted the picture of from our fan. So one of our fans, one of you guys, I guess he was inspired by Christopher Umana, because I kind of shamed you guys last week. I said I told you guys to do this, and none of you did, but Chris stepped up to the plate, and he's like, here you go. Check it out. So here you go. Check it out. Zach has he's got a picture for you guys.
I'm putting them up on the screen now.
Okay.
So
all right.
Just keep going. It is the...
All right.
Oh, no, you're in the Discord now. Just go look.
Yeah, all right. But anyway.
Okay, fine. Whatever. It's a 63 Mages Huntsman 12 gauge passed down from his grandpa. by his dad.
I don't see it.
It's in the Finished Firearms channel in the Student Milligan public member site.
Oh, I thought you were putting it on the screen.
He did.
It was on the screen, and I took
You
it
missed
down, and then I push it back up like this.
Put it back up.
Okay,
All right.
there we go. Sweet.
Yeah, he took 4 pictures, so I showed 3 of them. But yeah, and his name in the Discord is just Golly, so I'm not sure who that is. But
Golly G.
Thank you, Golly,
All right.
for posting that.
Well, very nice. Yeah, that's actually something that we've been talking about for years, about how many people you might have a 22 or a shotgun or whatever that belonged to your grandfather, and then your dad had it, and then your dad gave it to you, and you're like, man, I really like this thing, but and it has sentimental value, but let's face it, it's only worth $300 or $250 or whatever, and I don't want to box it up and spend $200-$300 sending it off to a guy to just have a new blue finish put on it or whatever. Well, that's where Duracoat comes in. They can help you. You can do it yourself. You don't have to box your gun up and ship it away. You can do it in your own garage, your own workshop, or whatever. So thank you very much for sharing that. Thank you very much. That's one of those success stories. All right, Crossbreed Holsters loves you. They love you so much. How much do they love you? Well, they love you so much that they approved a promotional code called SOTG, Sierra Oscar Tango Golf. And when you go to crossbreedholsters.com, if you go there and then you make a purchase and you put in SOTG, you're going to save money, get 100% made in the USA, super high quality product. And also you could, they took down the USA shirt. I got a USA shirt and they took down the promo for it. Oh, come on, man. But that's okay. They got the Wolverine modeling the other one. They got a Crossbreed camo shirt. And they got Hugh Jackman to model that one too. So, but they also, they should still have the under attire, they should still have the, the friggin' USA t-shirts. So there you go. Very cool. Very cool. Check those guys out. They're your friends at Crossbreed Holsters. Brownells, we already talked about them, but you can follow them and go to brownells.com and sign up for their newsletter, and then you would know exactly what I knew today. SDS Imports. They sponsor this show, and if you go to SOTGgiveaway.com, you can sign up for this month's giveaway, this month's gun giveaway, and it is a shotgun. Go to SOTGgiveaway.com for all the details. Yes, indeed. All right, Zachary, today is Monday's show.
Yes, indeed it is.
On Wednesday's show, we are going to talk about home invasions and shower guns.
Yep.
Is there a chance by Wednesday that video material that I submitted to you will be ready?
Yes, indeed it is. In fact, I put a note in Wednesday's episode that I will have it done by then.
Okay. So we've got a super special shower gun. Shower gun. What? How? What? Why? Where? Just don't worry about it. We got it taken care of. We got it under control. And you're either going to like it or you're not going to like it. And if you don't like it, well, then just too bad. Get better taste. It's like, I think I said that on Mark's show the other day. He said something like, he goes, I think you're all going to like this. And I said, if you don't, you need to get better taste. So there you go. But any hooser, that is coming up on Wednesday's show. We're going to talk about shower guns and home invasions and stuff like that. All right. It is a Monday. And because it is a Monday, it is time for you, new listeners, and maybe even some of you old listeners also, to close that hole underneath your nose, open up both of your ears, and listen louder.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a complimentary online training course called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. Get instant access by joining the Student Lounge for free at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of these questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
Yes, indeed. That is what you should do. That is what you should do. Thank you very much. I've got a real quick message to you from your friend and mine, Nicholas Orr. He said, thank you very much to people who recently bought the books and who left reviews. And he has a request for you. This is a small request. If you bought one of the Operator books, or you bought the whole series, or wherever you are, and you enjoyed it, please leave a review. Please go to, well, you can leave a review on studentofthegun.com if you bought a signed copy. But if you bought one on Amazon as either a Kindle or a paperback, you can leave a review there, and that would be fantastic. And that leads right into the next topic, which is, according to your friend and mine, Nicholas Orr, Operation Whitefeather Part 2, number 2, has been submitted to the publisher. And as soon as the final edits are made, it will be available. And Mr. Orr said that he promised it would be available by Christmas, and that is currently still the plan. So there you go. Which means what, Jared? It means that if they're not caught up, you're like, book 5, I haven't even finished 3 yet. Well,
They're quick reads. They're interesting quick reads.
There you go. Get on it, hippies. Get on it. Nothing's stopping you but you.
Yeah, put it by the potty, and you'll be done in a few days.
Well, it's wintertime, man. This is a good time to stay in the house, light a fire, read a good book.
Don't light a fire unless you have a fire pit or a wood-burning stove. I mean, you can do whatever you want. It's your house.
They're Americans, man. You know.
I have a fireplace with a chimney inside my apartment, which is weird. But hey, I'm not complaining. It's a good little emergency.
Could be worse. You could be on the first floor.
That too.
Or it could be worse for your neighbors. Your neighbors could have one. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Zach, but where are we right now on time there, master of the clock?
32 minutes.
We're 32 minutes. Okay, perfect. All righty. Now, for those of you that were shortchanged by the public school system over the last 20 to 25 years, I've been saying school system for 20 years. I said, any of you who went to this public school in the last 20 years, I started saying that in about 2014.
Time to upgrade.
So we can extend that to, if you went to public school in the last 25 years, you were probably shortchanged. Now, there's you guys have the story open, the Nuremberg trial story on history.com?
I do now.
Okay. Who does Hermann Goering look like?
Willem Dafoe.
I'm just thinking in general.
I don't know.
He looks like a Bond villain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Does he look like a Bond villain?
I like how you're like, who does he look like? And you're like, I have this specific thing in my brain.
It's like Dr. Evil or the head of Spectre. He looks like the head of Spectre. Hand that guy a white cat and let him sit there and pet the white cat, and he's the head of Spectre. Well, he's not the head of anything now because he's dead. He's worm food. He's long since decomposed. But after World War II, after we successfully won World War II, we did something that was not totally unique. I mean, this happens, but in the history of organized warfare, when nations used to actually declare war against one another, we don't do that anymore. We declare war against ideas. It's a war against terrorism. Well, where's the terrorism hiding? Well, we don't know, but it could be anywhere. So it's against an ism. When we did that, a lot of people who were smarter than me called that out 20 years ago and said, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You don't declare wars against an ism. You declare wars against countries and people.
Against a thing that can be defeated.
You can't defeat terrorism because where does terrorism reside?
You can defeat the terrorists.
You can defeat terrorists, but you can't defeat an ism because isms are inside people's brains. All right, unless you're just going to kill everyone on Earth.
Well, now we're getting into the mind control and brain control, and and stuff like that. So we know who wants to do that.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, back in the old days, we used to have the guts. Our government had the guts to go to the floor of the House, the Senate, and vote to declare war. Now, you said, well, we declared war on terrorism. No. They gave the president authorization. They gave him a use of force authorization. That is not the same as declaring war. The United States of America has not declared war since World War II, since 1941. But I digress. Oftentimes in the history of the world, when nations go to war and then eventually it ends and one party or the other comes to the table and says, sorry, or we give, or whatever. And they say, all right, we want an unconditional surrender, or these are the terms of surrender, or whatever. What they will normally do is they will come to the table and they'll say, okay, we're willing to give up. We're willing to surrender, but what we want is immunity, essentially. We want immunity for everything that happened during the war. We'll give you immunity, you give us immunity, and we'll just kind of we'll shake hands and we'll call it good, right? And many times in the history of nation-state warfare, that's what happens. They go to Paris or Geneva or wherever, and they have an accords or a peace, thing, and an armistice. And they're like, okay, here's what we all agree to do. We agree that these are going to be the borders. We agree to release the prisoners that we took. You release the prisoners that you took. We'll have them all meet in, wherever, and we'll just kind of go forward like this ugly incident never happened. And they're willing to do that often. They're willing to do that because, well, they want to end the the people at home are sick of war and they want to end it. And they're like, whatever we need to do to end this, we won, they lost, whatever. But World War II was a little bit different. Now, there have been times when this has occurred where it was unconditional surrender. That is what Eisenhower and his team, that's what they demanded. Because before the official surrender, after Hitler had killed himself, committed suicide in the bunker, if he actually did, I guess he did. They sent emissaries and they're like, hey, we're willing to negotiate, what can we do? And the Americans were like, unconditional surrender, end of story. You give up and you basically take and you submit to all of our demands. That's it. There is no negotiation. You surrender, we win, and then we get to do whatever we want. And obviously, that's what happened. Germany got divided into two, East and West. Berlin got divided into two, East and West. And afterwards, the world was so upset when it came to light. Remember we talked about this on, was it Friday, Jared, or it was either Friday or Thursday. We talked about how it was when we talked about the internment camps, I guess it was Friday, how unlike World War II, where you didn't have Instagram, Twitter, you didn't have CNN, you didn't have 24-hour news, people in America had heard rumors about bad stuff that was going on in Europe, but they didn't have they didn't have photographs and facts and so forth. It wasn't until we took over all of the territory that Germany had controlled that we discovered the remains. Many of these concentration camps were destroyed. Many of them were burned to the ground. Many of them were bulldozed to try and hide what they did. But we came up, Patton's Third Army and so forth, they got there so fast that oftentimes the Germans just had to run. They took off out the back door. There were several concentration camps where the Allies rolled in and the prisoners were just there. No guards. they're like, what's going on here? They're like, yesterday morning, the Germans ran away. They grabbed everything and left. So we had the evidence. And something that Eisenhower did, to his credit, was when they discovered these camps, he sent in every single news camera reporter that he could find. He made, not only did he have the Allies, he sent Allied troops to go into these camps. He made, do you know this, Jared, about them making the citizens of the towns go in and clean up?
I didn't know about that part.
No, I didn't know that.
I knew about
because
we need to take pictures of this because in 40 years people will say it didn't happen.
Yes. Yeah, that was what Eisenhower said. He goes, we're going to document this, and every human that I can get to see this, I'm going to see this. He said, because in 40 years or 50 years, someone will stand up and say this never happened. That was very intelligent on his part. No, there were cities, towns close to these concentration camps. Because think about it, the guards, they got to have food, water, refreshment, rest and relaxation, whatever Germans call bars, beer halls or whatever. So the people in these towns, they knew that those camps were there. And they knew what was going on. And in many instances, they sent the army to conscript the locals, and they sent them to the camps to bury the dead and to burn the bodies and so forth. The people, it was horrible, horrible, horrible conditions. Well, it got out. The whole world found out, and they went to the city of Nuremberg, Germany. We set up military tribunals, military trials, and we charged a lot of people with war crimes and crimes against humanity. Right? You're like, okay, we know, Paul, big deal, get to the point. You see, the point is Nuremberg was important because people like Jodl, Jodl, and Keitel, Goering killed himself. Goering committed suicide. Somebody snuck him a cyanide capsule. But Jodl and Keitel and a lot of these guys who ordered the death camps, who ordered the executions, who ordered, what is in Star Wars? Execute Order 66? Is that it?
Yeah, that's the Jedi killing thing. Not
the ones who were behind Order 66. That's for you geeks out there. They put them on trial, and including many officers and camp guards and so on and so forth. And for a long time, when I was a little kid, I remember stories popping up in the local news and the newspapers about, because the Nazis scattered like rats when they turned the light on, right? And they went all over the world. And Israel, the brand new country of Israel at the time, they were sending out Nazi hunters, and they actually made a TV show about it. And they made movies and so forth to find these guys. They found a lot of them in Central and South America and so on and so forth. And they would arrest these guys. They would find them and they would bring them back. And all throughout the 60s and 70s and even into the 80s and 90s, they would find these guys. Of course, as time went by, there were fewer and fewer. But they put them on trial, and most of these guys would say, they're like, this guy right here, this John Demjanjuk, he's been identified by Holocaust survivors as the monster of Treblinka or the monster of, Auschwitz or the monster of whatever, fill in the blank, Sobibor or there's. And what would they do, Jared? They'd go on the stand and they would say,
I was just following orders.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just doing what I was told.
They would say, you cannot find me responsible. It was a time of war, and I was just following orders. And for everyone who said I was just following orders, there was a gallows waiting, and they hung from it. Two of the most famous ones, Jodl and Keitel, they were officers. I believe they were both generals. And they tried to say, yeah, but, the higher up, they said, we have to do this. So we're just following orders. It's time of war. We're in the army. When you're in the army, you do what you're told. And the Nuremberg trials, they said, no, here's the deal. War or not war, you as a human need to know the difference between a moral right and a moral wrong. You cannot commit war crimes. You cannot commit genocide. You cannot do that and then hide behind, we were just following orders. That is essentially considered the Nuremberg Doctrine.
It's the ultimate cowardice.
When I went through Marine Corps infantry or basic training, not even infantry training, when I was in basic training, we had classes on the Articles of War and the rules of land warfare and so on and so forth. And we were told, this is when I was a young little, back in '87, skinny, bald-headed freaking Marine Corps recruit. And every single one of us, and this is part of basic training. And the reason it was part of basic training is because the United States military wanted to make sure that no matter who you were and where you ended up, that you could never say, well, I was just following orders. And we were taught that following an illegal order or an unlawful order is not an excuse. You can't go into villages and cut heads off and then say, well, the lieutenant said to do it. Sergeant said to do it. In Vietnam, there's this incident called the My Life Massacre. Now, depending on who you talk to and what sources you get, essentially, American soldiers went into a village, killed men, women, and children. The incident came to light. Many men were charged. And they went back to I don't care if the sergeant told you to do it. I don't care if the lieutenant told you to do it. The fact of the matter is, you can't do that. It goes back to the Nuremberg Accords or the Nuremberg Rule. Well, why do we bring this up? Who cares, Paul? That was a long time ago. Doesn't matter.
It actually wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm aware this is 2018. It's very important, though. So we got a story here from 2018. And it's from The Intercept. And the title is what?
It says Washington breaks out the just following orders Nazi defense for CIA Director Designate Gina Haspel. And it says former CIA directors to journalists. It's now popular in Washington to say the Nuremberg defense is legitimate if used on behalf of Gina Haspel. During the Nuremberg trials after World War II, you guys already know the history.
Yeah.
We just talked about it.
The Nuremberg judges rejected the Nuremberg defense. So the Nuremberg defense is, I was just following orders. You cannot find me guilty.
Yep. And then it says, however, many members of the Washington, D.C. elite are now stating that it, in fact, is a legitimate defense for American officials who violate international law to claim that they were just following orders. Specifically, they say Gina Haspel, a top CIA officer whom President Donald Trump has designated to be the agency's next director, bears no responsibility for the torture she supervised during George W. Bush's administration. Haspel oversaw a secret black site in Thailand at which prisoners were waterboarded and subjected to other severe forms of abuse. Haspel later participated in the destruction of the CIA's videotapes of some of its torture sessions. That's not suspect at all. There is informed speculation that part of the CIA's motivation for destroying these records may have been that they showed operatives employing torture to generate false intelligence used to justify the invasion of Iraq.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
we're not going to
crazy.
go too much farther in this. This is in the John Kirikou, former CIA operative, helped capture many Al Qaeda prisoners, yada, yada. Okay, said he called her Bloody Gina. You say, yeah, this is 2018. This goes all the way back to the Trump administration, and we hate Trump, and it doesn't matter. Well, here's the deal. What is going on in 2021? What is going on right now in our world? There are people who are abusing their fellow citizens. Keep in mind, and I cannot state this enough, when the German Jews or gypsies or Christians or anybody that they decided was an unreliable person, when they were taken from their homes at 3 a.m., when their doors were smashed in, the doors weren't smashed in by Martians or aliens or Russians. It was German citizens kicking in the doors of other German citizens, dragging them out, putting them on trucks, putting them on trains, sending them to get their final shower. Okay? Everyone likes to pretend like the Nazis and the SS and so that they were others. No, it was German citizens turning on German citizens. Austrian citizens turning on Austrian citizens. In France, there were French citizens turning the Vichy French, who were cozied up to the Nazis, turning on other French citizens. Right now, in our world, we have Americans turning on Americans. We have Australians turning on Australians. British, French, German, whatever. We have people turning on their own citizens. We have people who work for the government, for the state, persecuting their own citizens. And what are we already hearing? I just pointed it out on Friday during the grad program. If you weren't there, you missed it. Guy came right out of this guy's mouth, and it is so it's so typical. He said, well, it doesn't have to make sense. I don't know. I don't care if you like it or not. I'm what? What did he say?
It's something along the lines
Following
of him
orders.
just following orders. He said that he received, the higher ups told him where to take her, and that's what they're going to do, and that's it.
I was told by the higher ups where to take you from your home, put you in this camp. Not my fault. I bear no responsibility for this because I'm just doing what I was told. There is a faction in our world today that thinks that the Nuremberg Defense is legit. That the Nuremberg Defense is correct. In some cases, if you are told, and I'm not talking about following the law, because in the United States of America, we have jurisprudence and we have the way of doing things. Everything that is being done, if you are taken away from your home by a mandate or an executive order, that is not the law. That is not following the law. If someone comes to your house and says, well, I was told under Executive Order 66 to come get you, take you from your home, you didn't violate the law. They did. Because that's not a law. And that's not how things work in the United States of America. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is important that you know this. It is important that you understand this because we are at a crossroad here on planet Earth where there are people in the state who truly believe like Goering and Keitel and Yodel and all these guys down the line that, hey, they can do whatever they want to you whenever they want to do it to you. They can take your children and shoot them up with this mystery serum, this gene therapy, and there's nothing you can do about it. And they can't be held responsible because they were just following orders. There are free men and free women still inhabiting planet Earth. And you, as a free man, as a free woman, need to make a decision in your heart. Are you willing to buy that? Are you willing to hold these people unresponsible? Are you willing to hold them harmless because they were following orders? Does following orders make it okay?
And let's not forget, just going back to the Nuremberg and the talking about following the law and all that, just because it's a law doesn't make it right. Remember,
Slavery was a law.
Slavery was a law. The Jews being rounded up was legal in Germany.
Yeah, they
just
went
because
to,
it's a law doesn't mean it's right.
They went to Parliament. They went to the Reichstag, and they're like, "Hey,
And that's where the in the Nuremberg trials they specifically said that the people couldn't, the people that were the offenders in this case, they were not able to use or they wouldn't accept the use of the I was just told to do it, I was just following orders, because the offenders still had the ability to make a moral decision. And they specifically mentioned that in the Nuremberg trials, that they still had the ability to make a moral decision.
And you guys, I don't want to get too much farther into this. We're going to go ahead and close it out. But there's also, remember we talked about under color of law? The deprivation of rights under color of law, and why that's important. It's important that you know this, because we have people who are wearing badges in the United States of America who will say things like, well, they told me to do this. They told me to come to your house and get you. And, well, I have to do it. That's why the deprivation of rights under color of law, that's why that statute, Title 18 USC Section 242, that's why it exists. That's why that's there. So that somebody with a badge and a polyester uniform can't just come to your house and say, they told me to come get you, so I'm gonna, and at the end of the day, I will be harmless. I'll be held harmless, and you're just going to do what you're told, stupid peasant.
Whoever, under color of any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom, willfully subjects any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 1 year, or both. And if bodily injury results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include the use, attempted use, or threatened use of a dangerous weapon, explosives, or fire, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years, or both. And if death results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include kidnapping, which is removing you from a place where you are
found,
or an attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual assault, or aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to kill, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for any term of years, or for life, or both, or may be sentenced to death.
So if somebody shows up with a gun and says, they told me to come get you, what law did I violate?
That would be...
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it would be kidnapping, and it would also be... where's the other one?
Threat with a weapon?
Yeah, deadly weapon.
Yeah.
Threatened use of a dangerous weapon.
Threatened use of a dangerous weapon. If someone forces your kids to get a mystery shot and they die, that's death. The punishment for deprivation of rights, when they use the law to abuse the citizens, they can be fined, jailed, or sentenced to death. That is the law of the United States of America. And Title 18 USC Section 242 is still the law, and it is still enforceable. Just so you know. Just like the guys on NBC with the rainbow. Doo-doo-doo. The more you know. And now you know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on Wednesday, we're going to be back. We're going to talk about home invasions and shower guns. What? Yep. Buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Until then, remember, You are a beginner once.
You're a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.
All right, boopity boop 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 boop.
I was recording one for today.
All right, so we all voted Democrat earlier, right?
I got
so
to pee, but yeah.
Okay, so
5 minutes.
I got 9:23. So let me go refill my coffee and I'll be back.
7 minutes. 10 minutes. How much? When were you?
7 minutes.
Okay.
Sure.
9:30.
All right. See you guys in about 7 minutes. Hey, Siri. And we're all
Da-da-da.
back. Look at
And we're
us.
back. So Zach, did you
Not the
read?
song that I thought. What?
Did you watch the after COVID South Park movie?
Post-COVID?
Post-COVID?
Yes, I did. Remember, that's where I got the cocaine joke from the other day?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to watch that.
Yeah, and they're coming out with the sequel on the 16th, which is good, because I thought that they were going to screw us and have it be like another year and a half.
Oh, okay.
Because remember
cool.
they did the South Park COVID special, but that was like 8 months ago.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. I haven't watched a new episode of South Park in a couple of years.
Me neither, but I remember seeing Facebook ads and stuff for it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw the new thing where it's like they're all grown up and stuff, I was like, I kind of really got to see that. And it was funny. It was good old South Park, you know?
Good. I kind of almost want to play the game again. The Fractured Butthole.
I noticed that it's like every 8 to 10 months you get the urge to play Fractured Butthole again.
You know why?
Because
it's winter. It's winter. I get that. Okay, it's it's cold out. It's warm. It's cold outside. It's warm in here. Yeah.
They haven't announced the new one yet. They had the Game Awards last night, or they've announced a new one. I don't know if they're going to do a new one. They did the Game
kind of
Awards.
busy, but whatever.
Who?
They're kind of busy, but yeah.
They don't actually make it. They just do the voice.
Well, I know, but it still takes people.
Yeah. I mean, the video game industry didn't shut down. They're still doing a lot of stuff. But the point is, Game Awards was last night, and they didn't announce anything that I gave a shit about. And I'm sad about that. Because I actually bothered to tune in because...
I care about none of this.
There was rumor going around that Ed Boon was going to announce the next NetherRealm game, which would either be Mortal Kombat, Injustice, or there was a rumored Marvel fighting game that they were allegedly going to do.
Are Marvel games? Are any of those superhero video games worth a damn?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Injustice games are awesome. Marvel vs. Capcom's fun if you like that kind of a thing. They actually came out with the Guardians of the Galaxy game. You know what? You might actually like that. I just realized. The Guardians of the Galaxy game.
There you go.
You might actually like that. Contest of Champions also. I think I played that, if that's the one I'm thinking about. Oh, yeah, no. The Avengers game came out and was...
Garbage.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was like the worst kind of like... It was just really, 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 really bad.
My first guess would be that they were just operating on the fact that everyone loves the Avengers and we can do no wrong. So if we put out a half-assed, pandering, shitty game, people just eat it up.
Not only, well, correct, but also everything costs money. Like you buy the $60 game off the shelf, and then like everything that they want you to do, it's either you can spend 47 hours doing it, or you can pay $4 to get 127 fun bucks, and you can just buy it. And also,
did you want to play the game?
Yeah, and then also, they never, they didn't never put out Spider-Man. Avengers came out in 2019, I believe, right, or early 2020, a while ago, right?
It's your story. Tell it like you want it.
Yeah, and they were like, guess what? We've got Spider-Man coming exclusively to the PlayStation, and he just came out like a month and a half ago. It took them like 2 freaking years to put out Spider-Man.
Oh, well.
And people were not happy.
You can't rush this kind of stuff.
Yeah, except that it also sucked. Not rushing, it's fine, as long as it's not terrible, but it was terrible.
And then there's that.
And then there is that. Uh-oh.
And that.
And that. Fudge. And then that.
And that.
And that.
All right, let's go ahead and jump right into the next episode.
All right, guys.
I got snow to shovel.
Yeah, I got snow to shovel.
I'm kidding. I'm not shoveling shit.
I got show to snubble as well, yes.
Snow to shovel. I'm not shoveling nothing.
All right. Push. And Dad, go ahead and start us off in 3, 2, 1.
All right, so I lied, actually. I do have to shovel one little part because your mom's rescue dog won't go out into the 16 inches of snow. for whatever reason.
We're having that problem with the Chihuahuas as well.
Yeah,
Like, there's a tree across the park that they can go where there's not a lot of snow, but they're still like, it's cold, I don't want to poop.
Yeah, it won't go out into the snowbank. Shigoki, on the other hand, loves it. He's like a big duber. He's loping through the snow because the snow's all the way up to his chest. So he has to lope through it, you know? Which is great because now the dog poop is buried under 6.5 feet of snow.
So I think you just dropped
1.25 feet of snow.
So I think you just dropped a bomb on the audience.
Which bomb?
The rescue dog.
Oh, yeah.
We have yet to mention Freckles on the show.
So, yeah, whatever.
You brought
Remember
it up.
No. We got to talk about something more important.
Go ahead.
We got to talk about how when you shoot on the range and it's snowy, the brass just disappears, and then when the snow melts, they're all perfectly standing, ready for you to pick up.
Well, that's shotguns.
Yeah.
Yeah, shotgun ammo. That actually, it's spooky.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty cool.
It's spooky. You shoot, and then the snow melts, and because the brass is the only part of the shell that's hot. So when the brass hits the snow, it's hot, and it melts, and it goes straight down. And, yeah, we were on the range when it snowed. It was like 6 inches or more of snow, and we were shooting shotguns, and then 2 days later, it all melted away, and there was hundreds of shotgun shells standing perfectly on the range. You're like, what kind of a weird OCD character came out and spent hours standing up those shotgun shells? They're like, no.
That would satisfy my OCD pretty.
And what's even funnier is they were all full of water too.
Oh, so he took a tea kettle and he set them up.
All of them were full of. When you kicked them over,
are you sure that it wasn't vodka?
Yeah.
You kicked over that gentleman's hard work. You just kicked it over. He spent hours standing those things up.
People are like, "How do you pick up your brass on the range?"
Don't. It goes back where it came from.
Nah, yeah, that's why I like shooting steel because it falls down and that's called range patina.
Yeah, range patina. That's funny.
All right, if you want to pick up my brass, come out here to Wyoming. I'll show you where it is, and you can pick it up. You're like, yeah. Some people are having heart attacks out there. Right? Like, what? You don't pick up every piece of brass that hits the ground? I do some. It
depends.
Right.
If we're using somebody else's range, then we do. We clean up
if I'm on
ourselves.
If I'm on someone
but
else's
if you don't
range,
need to clean up the stuff, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Woo!
I feel like we were gonna get we were gonna be the people that were like the guys at the gym and the chicks at the gym that don't re-rack their weights, which is annoying.
No,
like I went to the gym the other day and there was a rack that had weights on the bar and there was nothing near it, but there were weights on the bar. And I was like, I wonder if somebody's using that. So I just stood back for a second. And then I finally went and asked the person next to the rack. I was like, they were on a different rack. I said, hey, is this rack open? They're like, oh yeah, it's open. I'm like, well, who the F didn't re-rack their weights?
Who just walked away?
That's rude.
Yeah. Who the F just walked away and left? Yeah. That's bull crap.
Which begs the question. Do you say something to people if you see them walk away from the rack, or do you let it go?
What you do is you walk down behind. You're like, hey, excuse me, are you done?
You forgot to unrack your.
Say, are you done with that machine? Are you done with that rack? You are? Okay, I wasn't sure because the weights are not put away. And okay,
yeah,
just checking it. All right, just checking. Oh, speaking of which, I had Thursday is supposed to be the easy day for me.
Yeah,
it was hard. It was a hard day for me. And I think part of it was because Tuesday was a really intense workout. And I think I was still recovering. Remember how we talked about recovery?
Yeah. Sometimes you need an extra day.
Sometimes, yeah. Because I'm at the point now where my presses, I'm in new territory. I'm in, going where no Paul has gone before.
No Paul has gone before.
Yeah. So
that's good. That means you're doing something new every week.
Yep. That's right. I PR'd my press workout. Matter of fact, the last 3 press workouts have been PRs. They've been heavier workouts than I've ever done in my life. All right, but we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about if you have questions, we have answers. So drop them into the Discord. Or
Did we already play the video?
No, we didn't.
We did not.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk about that after we do the music.
Welcome to Student of the Gun Radio, proudly brought to you from the SDS Imports studio. If you want quality that's affordable, visit sdsimports.com. We don't just talk guns and gear, we also discuss current events and politics, because guns are politics. Now sit back and listen louder to your co-host, CEO of Full 30, Jared Markle, and your beloved host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
So I got a little something in my hands. It is Quotations.
Does it fit on the camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quotations from Thomas Jefferson. And that guy said a lot of stuff. He was a thinker and a writer. And he said a lot of stuff. And most of his quotes are 1 or 2 sentences. But he said, "One man with courage is a majority." That's the end of that sentence.
That's
All right.
interesting.
I like that.
One man with courage. Does everybody else around him have to have no courage?
Well,
For the one man with courage to be the majority? That's interesting.
so there you have it. All right, moving on to it's a Wednesday, and every Wednesday we do this little thing called Brownell's Bullet Points, and today is no
EVP.
exception. All right, did you boys both see the note that I dropped in there? The note in it.
I did, yes.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
To the note.
I was
All
like,
right.
yes? Question mark? Yeah.
So on Monday's show, we talked to you about the Brownell's Big Iron giveaway. Now, if you are listening live right now, you still have time. If you're listening live right now, you still have time to get in on the Brownell's Big Iron giveaway. Now, if you didn't pay attention on Monday, which you should, see, if you're here on Wednesday and you're like, "Oh, I didn't listen to Monday's show," life lesson, right? It's okay. You can still go to Brownell's and you can still get one of these really nice, well-made Dixon Supply Brownell's Big Iron shirts. And I sent my size to that guy, that bearded one.
That's bearded one.
That bearded one at Brownell's. I sent him the email and I said, "P.S. I wear a size XL." So they actually, unlike T-shirts that usually come in medium to 2X and that's it, these shirts come in X small, X large tall, X large, X small, 2XL, 2XL tall, 3XL medium, large tall, regular large, 4X, and 5X. So if you happen to have, if you're like, who's the mayor of Knoxville, Tennessee?
Kane.
Glenn Jacobs.
If you're Glenn Jacobs, they make a shirt for you.
Or Mark Calloway.
Or if you're Mark Calloway, you can get one of these shirts. If you have your own climate, they have a shirt for you.
Did you know that Mark Calloway, when he was in character as the Undertaker, he was in character all the time? He said he didn't do any podcast appearances or interviews or anything because he felt like
I absolutely knew that.
Yeah, he felt like if people saw him off TV different than he was on TV, then it would ruin the mystique of the Undertaker. It's like, you are a smart dude.
Oh, he's a very intelligent man. And Zach Zach squirming in his chair. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say he did do one thing, and that was he did an appearance on, I think it was either Conan or Jimmy Fallon, where he just kind of showed up and he sat there, and Paul Bearer was with him, and Paul Bearer did all the talking for him.
Oh,
But The
in
Undertaker
character.
wasn't. He was in character.
Yeah.
But like,
He went.
he did not break actual character like on public camera until I think 2018.
After he was done.
Long after he was like full time.
Yeah.
After he had actually done his fold up the jacket on WrestleMania.
I was listening to his story where he actually had to, like, well, you guys have to listen to it, but he actually went through like living in a car for a few months, and he paid this dude to teach him how to wrestle a couple grand, which was back in the 80s, I believe, which was a lot back then.
And he
paid him a couple grand.
left.
He took his money and left. He didn't learn anything. And he said that what they tried to do back then was they take your money and they tried to like just beat you down and hurt you so you'd leave. And he said everybody else in that class, he's like, I kept coming back, and every single week somebody else would be gone. He's like, finally I was the last one. And I showed up at the dude's house for another training camp, and all the furniture was gone. And he's like, but the dude left his dogs. So I got some dogs.
So he took the dogs. Were you watching the Austin podcast or the Austin show?
No, I was watching, he was on with Joe Rogan.
Oh, he was on with Rogan.
Yeah, okay,
See, all of that stuff that you just said,
Where?
Yeah.
he did on the Austin Broken Skull interviews.
Oh, yeah. And,
Where did you see this, Jared?
it was a while ago.
Because that podcast has freaking disappeared.
Oh, it's on Spotify.
Really?
Oh, yeah, that's why it disappeared, because Joe Rogan is exclusive to Spotify.
Yeah, it's exclusive to Spotify.
Okay. I guess that happened at the exact same time, because I remember the Jim Cornette podcast I listened to, people were asking him about, like, what do you think about this thing The Undertaker said? And their answer was, we don't know, because all the links we got to it have gone to 404
Have disappeared.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because
Spotify paid a lot of $1 million.
because Cornette doesn't know to go to Spotify.
That's funny.
But he has a very techie, very intelligent co-host
Oh, okay.
who usually hooks him up with all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So anyway,
for whatever
that
reason.
has nothing to do with Student of the Gun at all, but it doesn't matter
It was fun to talk
because it was fun. All right. So moving on. So get yourself, the whole point of that was go to Brownells, take the arrow and put it over the blue words and click your finger twice and order one of these cool big iron flannels. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah. How did we get there to talk about? Yeah.
Yeah, because I said if you're a big guy like Glenn Jacobs, or you said, or Mark Calloway, they have a shirt for you.
Yep.
And they do.
And there we went.
There we went, and we're off to the races. All right, moving on. So that is our Brownells bullet points for the day. If you're listening live, you can still get in on the giveaway. If you're not listening live, if you're listening on the 15th or later, the giveaway's over, but you can still get a really cool Dixon Supply shirt. And it's not John Dixon, because this Dixon has two X's.
DIXX.
Yeah, DI double X for a double dose of Xen.
I don't know if I see John Dixon wearing flannel.
No, I don't see John Dixon wearing flannel. Well, maybe like if he had a bandana on.
Yeah.
He just buttoned the top button and left the bottom ones undone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know. All right, so moving on.
Man, I haven't talked to him in a while. I need to reach out.
You need to. You need
hi.
to reach out and say, hey, you living, man?
Yeah.
Duracoat, because why?
Because life is too short to have an ugly gun.
That's right. And we showed you a gun that was long. Life is too short,
gun.
but we showed you on Monday a long gun. That's right. SDS Imports giveaway. Go to SOTGgiveaway.com. That's SOTGgiveaway.com. Sign up for the gun giveaway of the month. Bing, bang, boom. And it is Wednesday. So we are going to talk about shower guns and which gun that I would suggest that you put into a shower. But first, because it's Wednesday.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. It's time for me to be quiet and let Zach talk.
ShopSOTG.com is the perfect place to go if you are a student of the gun. Whether you want to expand your brain, increase your marksmanship, or help keep your family safe. All that, plus the pimp hand brands that you love. ShopSOTG.com has almost anything that an American patriot would want. Education, enlightenment, and entertainment, and we're open 24/7. Check out shopsotg.com today and see for yourself.
Ba-da-da-da-dum-bum-bum. Okay, moving on. Jared, you have the story open there? So I got this story. This was sent to me in an electronic mail message. I received an electronic mail message with this, and I thought, well, it's not that I don't believe them. However, I would like to have a backup source. So the first electronic mail message that I got was from usacarry.com. Resident fights off 6 home invaders, and then I went and I found the linkage to the Fox 5 San Diego story.
Did the email tell you that we have a video intro that we need to play?
Yeah, play it. All right.
You so funny.
All right. So you want to read the USA Carry story, or you just want to go right into the Fox local San Diego on your side?
Let's see what the San Diego on your side has to say.
Okay.
Police say resident killed man who was robbing his Oceanside home. Editor's note. An earlier version of the story contained inaccurate information about the office looking into charges in the case. The San Diego County District Attorney's Office is pursuing the murder charges, and the story has been corrected. All right.
Okay.
Oceanside, California. Authorities say a resident shot and killed a man during a home invasion in Oceanside early Wednesday, and a group of suspected of carrying out the robbery was arrested short term.
You said a group of suspected. A group
suspected of carrying out the robbery was arrested a short time later. The shooting happened around 1:15 a.m. at the home on Moonstone Bay Drive in the city's North Valley area. Police say the group, at least one of whom was armed with a gun, was inside the house when a resident got out their weapon and shot one of them. The robbers took off, leaving the man who was shot behind, according to the Oceanside Police Department. When officers arrived, they tried to give him medical aid, but he was pronounced dead at the home.
Pause. Meaning, what did they do?
They probably gave him CPR.
They probably gave him CPR. Give him CPR!
Expedited the expiration.
Expedited the expiration.
Meanwhile, officers pulled over a group of men in a car nearby. They are suspected of being the others involved in the robbery and were identified by OPD as Deshaun Ingram, Eric Dunnigan, Michael Simmons, Jalen Harvey, and Sidney Tucker.
The rapper? Michael Simmons?
21 years old to 29 years old, all in their 20s. Police discovered that Ingram had also been shot, though authorities say they haven't yet determined whether he was wounded by the resident or by one of his suspected accomplices. He was hospitalized, but will eventually be taken into custody, officials said.
It's kind of hard to hide that when you get pulled over by the cops and you got a bullet hole in you.
Yeah, you're like, what?
You're sitting in the back. You're like, I'm
Sir.
okay. What's up? What are you doing back there? Nothing. What's all that red stuff leaking out of you? Nothing.
What?
What? There no what?
He was already convicted of a recent assault with a deadly weapon and had been out on bail while
Of
awaiting
course.
his- Wow, that's fantastic right there.
California, you're just so great.
For the home invasion that turned deadly Wednesday, police said each man faced both robbery and murder charges, even though no one in the group is suspected of shooting the man who died at the home.
They were involved in a crime which resulted in the death of another person.
The San Diego District Attorney's Office was pursuing the murder charges because he died in commission of a felony that the group was involved in. I'm actually kind of surprised because given the fact that of what they've done recently.
Well, they're going to let them all out on bail. Of course, they're going to let them out on signature bond so they can go do it again.
The resident who killed the man was not identified and is not suspected of a crime. The man who died also has not been publicly named.
So, why do you think you need a gun with more than 2 rounds in it?
Yeah. Or 10.
I don't know.
Okay, 6 people. You only have 10 rounds.
Yeah, and here's the deal. You're like, well, all you need is 1 round per person. Okay, Wyatt Earp, if you're
With
able
a pistol?
to, with a handgun,
With any gun, really.
you know, this isn't the movies. People don't fly backwards. One of the guys was shot and he ran, got into a car and was driving away under his own volition. Just because a bullet hits a person doesn't mean they're out of commission. They stay in commission for a long time. This dude, when the cops got there, was still writhing around on the ground, and they gave him CPR and helped him move on to the great beyond.
You remember?
I don't know that they did that for sure, but
yeah. Remember the video that we played of the cop that had to shoot the dude that was attacking him with the stick?
Yeah.
And that cop went through like 8 rounds before the guy fell.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the dude was like, I'm gonna smash your skull in. Here I come.
Yeah.
And the cop's like, pop, 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 pop.
Yep. Well, there went 8. Now you got 2 left, and you still have 5 other people.
And you still have 5 other people. Or you could do the Biden thing and just point the shotgun in the air and fire it twice, and now have an empty gun and 6 people attacking you.
Wait, did he say both of those? He said shoot him in the air and also shoot him through the door?
If you're scared, just point it at the door.
Oh, that's right, because he told Jill to blast him in the air.
I told Jill, who apparently hasn't had Secret Service protection all her adult life, if anything happens, go out on the balcony, because we live in a mansion. Go out on the balcony and blast 2 in the air. And this is when I said, what the F is Jill's Secret Service agents doing while she's on the balcony blasting the shotgun? And nobody says that to him. Nobody calls him on a bull. All right, can we stop for a second? He said that during an interview with a reporter while he was the vice president of the United States. And he told the reporter that he has instructed his wife, who has Secret Service protection 24 hours a day, that if anybody ever came around, to just take this shotgun and go out on the balcony and blast 2 shots. And the reporter didn't say, does your what now? What is the Secret Service doing while your wife is hanging out on the balcony with the bird gun, with the fowling piece, jacking off rounds? And what does the Secret Service do after Jill walks out on the balcony and cranks off 2 rounds? Shut up! Stop thinking. If you're going to listen to me, if you're going to be in my audience, you need to not think. That's what Joe Biden said. Have you heard the 100 million trillion billion quote from him yet?
No.
It's so stupid. It's become a TikTok or a Instagram Vine meme thing.
Zach, can you find it?
People ask me, how much money do I spend on my dog? And then they cue the Joe Biden quote, and he goes, like 100 million trillion billion dollars.
It says right here, Zach. Did you find it already?
I'm currently looking.
Okay, I found it. I'll send you a link.
Yeah, all right. So we have that's home invasion number 1. Okay, that is a reason why you think you need to have a gun in your house. And that's why you should always have your gun locked away in a safe where no one can get to it. Right? That's right. Or locked in the safe in the closet in your bedroom upstairs. Yeah, but I'm in the kitchen and someone just broke into the house. Tell them to wait a second. You're going to go to the bedroom and you'll be back. Yeah, but they're not going to do that. I'm like, okay. We've got another story here.
You got that video, Zach?
Booting it up now.
We can go to the story. Let's go to the bathroom.
What's going on?
Hello? All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut. What's happening?
That was weird.
We can't hear Dad now.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
It's playing back our recording.
Where?
I don't know.
Oh,
Okay.
damn it.
What the fuck
I'm
just happened?
I was like, what?
All right, found it.
What's going
How the
on?
fuck did we get stuck in a fucking boomerang?
All right. So here's what happened, right? I opened the video Jared sent me. It's a YouTube video. So I can play it, I unmute it. But I forgot that I was monitoring the comments in the YouTube in a different tab.
Okay.
And it's still muted in my headphones, so I
So
didn't
we're
know
on
that
a-
you guys could hear yourself.
We're on a 30-second delay on YouTube.
I was like, what's going on? Okay.
All
Can you
right,
play the
so-
video now?
well,
Ready,
okay.
set.
We're going to
Jared,
fix that, right?
I am producer.
Post.
Let me write this down.
Ready,
we'll
set,
just
go.
go right into the Joe Biden thing.
People are like, this is why I come live!
Yeah.
All
This
right.
is why you show up live.
That's funny. Zach's like, I don't know, because his was muted, and
Yeah.
you and I are over here like, what's going on?
All right. And we're going to
Ready
play
when
the
you
Joe
are.
Biden thing in 3, 2, 1.
For example, there's a situation where there's an estimation of somewhere between $700 billion and $1.3 trillion if we have more IRS agents and we go after those folks who are avoiding taxes at the top end.
All right, stop. So it's how many?
That's a lot of money.
It's
$300 billion.
100 billion, million, trillion,
that's a lot.
million dollars.
700 billion and $1.3 trillion.
$1 trillion,
A
300
trillion,
billion.
million, billion dollars. So it's $1 trillion, million, billion dollars. It's all the dollars.
This is not, it's not even
So,
funny. I should be
with
laughing.
the dementia patient who's in the White House right now being controlled like a meat puppet thinks that all of the money in America belongs to the government, and if they feel like it, they'll let you have some. That's the answer you need. All right, but that's actually become a meme thing. That's become a Vine stream TikTok thing. But anyway, so let us go. Let us go to the story from thedailymail.com.co.uk.
Terrifying moment. Deranged intruder breaks into Tennessee home and forces panicked mom to barricade herself and 2-year-old son in the bathroom.
You thought this happened in England because it was reported by the dailymail.co.uk.
Cook. A Tennessee mother has shared a chilling surveillance video showing a deranged stranger breaking into her home in broad daylight and forcing her to lock herself and her terrified toddler son in the bathroom until police came to the rescue.
Okay, so I see the
disgusting.
video, and I see the guy on the porch. He takes a piece of firewood, and he's smashing her door. Why did she not kill this guy?
Probably didn't have a gun.
It's Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why? Okay, lady, you're wrong. If you're a mother, listen to me. If you're a mother and you're home alone with your child, and her last name is Winchester.
That's funny. She's 26, a married mom of 1.
You don't have a gun to protect your child. You're wrong. And you need to fix yourself.
She said that she was spending time with her 2-year-old son last Thursday when she heard someone banging on the door and a male voice yelling, "Help." Winchester said at first she was not sure what was happening, but then she heard the intruder punching her door and windows. There's a video and pictures and stuff. A camera that was trained on the patio caught a frenzied man in a red jacket using his fists to try to break into the house. He then grabs a long pile of wood, a pile of firewood stacked against the wall, and deploys it as a battering ram to break one of the windows. After shattering the glass, man, this dude's has been like
This dude should have
after
been
shattering
shot.
the glass. The trespasser dives headfirst into the house. Winchester told the station that as soon as she realized that someone was breaking into her home, she grabbed her 2-year-old son and sought refuge in the upstairs bathroom. And then once I realized he was in my house screaming, I barricaded the bathroom door and had my baby there, trying to get him to just be calm and relaxed while I was calling the cops. The young mom said that she was violently shaking while begging the emergency dispatcher to send police officers to her home in Tiptonville, about 125 miles north of Memphis. It took police about 10 minutes to respond to the scene and arrest the burglar. Man, 10 minutes is a long
10 minutes
time.
is a long time.
I'm really glad this ended well for her.
That is a long time.
Is that dude's? Oh no, those are leaves. Okay, I thought that dude had like squirted blood all over
it's leaves and stuff
all over the porch.
So this happened on what day in October 21st? Oh, it was October 14th that this happened, which is funny. We were talking, what did we do, Zach and Jared? We did something and you guys said, wow, that went crazy. The home invasion SEO was crazy. You remember that? It was recently. And I said, why?
Oh, yeah. Jared, do you remember what that was? I don't remember what the reason, but I remember that it was a thing.
We did something, and I mentioned either in print or whatever, home invasion. And you guys said, oh, man, that's like ranking super high. That's a suit. Zach said,
let's not get too inside baseball here.
Okay, whatever. But you said, man, for whatever reason, people are jumping onto Google and they're searching the words home invasion, right? And then I was like, why all of a sudden? And they're like, yeah, because there was this woman hid in her bathroom. I'm like, oh, okay.
Jeez.
So my question to you kids or you women is, so you're
October
in
19th,
the kitchen,
2021,
or the living room or the whatever, and smash, 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 boom, 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 crash. Your door comes smashing open and 3 a-holes come streaming in, or 6, like in California. And the nearest room is the bathroom. So you grab your 3-year-old and you run to the bathroom. You say, oh, it's okay. I have my phone. Your phone's on the charger on the counter in the kitchen.
There's a shotgun in my bathroom.
Yeah. So my question to you freaks is, what do you have in your bathroom besides a toilet brush and a plunger to stop the 6 maniacs or the 1 maniac or whatever? Are you going to, like, you're a 5'3", 120-pound mom with a 2-year-old baby. You're going to duke it out with a lunatic? You're going to go fisticuffs with a lunatic when they smash? How strong are bathroom doors?
Well, and
in your house, how strong is your bathroom door?
Not strong. And we're only discussing, I would say, the actual incident, I would say, is probably like 25% of the equation. What now this mom has to deal with is the trauma of her not being able to physically protect her child. I'm not a psychologist, so I don't know the inner workings of this, but for whatever reason, if you do everything that you possibly can, and you know that you've done everything that you possibly can to stop a violent encounter, then you are better off psychologically.
The mental trauma is less.
The mental trauma is less than if you feel helpless and you have to call the police and wait for somebody to get there. And so now it's not just that this happened in that moment in time. It's what does this mom have to deal with? The kid will probably not remember it.
No, the kid won't remember.
But the mom has to now deal with this. And I would assume that after this, it haunted her for a long time.
Oh, it's still haunting her to this day.
Yeah, it's only a couple months ago.
You said this woman was terrified for 10 minutes. She's in her bathroom cowering, praying that this guy doesn't bash down the bathroom door for 10 minutes.
That's so long. It's such a long time.
The feeling of helplessness. And kids, I'm here. We're here. We're here for you, man. It really, I hate it when good people are put into positions where they're victimized when it doesn't have to happen. Yeah. You know what I mean? This woman would have been 100 billion trillion million % Joe Biden 100 trillion million billion % justified in shooting this turd into the ground.
Now,
It's a cute baby.
yeah, it's cute baby. Now,
I'm looking at it.
I have here's something that I haven't heard mentioned. Was the guy just breaking in to steal stuff, or what?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Well, because
You don't know at the time.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, like, if the guy was screaming help and banging on the door, was that just like an attempt, like, to get her to open the door?
Probably.
Was he
As a
high?
ruse.
Was it
It's a
what?
ruse.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You don't smash through a window and say, I'm just here because I want to use your phone.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and that actually lends what you're saying, Zach, is actually the perfect reason that training is maybe not a reason for training, but an argument for training, because the more training you have, the more training you have, the more that you understand what you need to do, the more you can actually observe and understand what's going on around you.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I won't go any further than that.
No,
Just
you're
full
absolutely
stop.
right, Jared. A training program like The Fight from Tactical Response is critical for something like that, because and we do a little bit, but they do it all the time. The Fight is role players. You have simunitions, guns, and you have to make decisions with other live humans around you.
Yeah.
It's way different than I went to the range and I took my time and I slowly shot at a piece of paper. Now I'm ready to fight. No, you're not. You're on your way, but you're not there yet. You want to be able to make good decisions. It's kind of like armed living.
ArmedLivingDVD.com.
Thinking with a gun in your hand, So
I think
what is premiering today? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
What's premiering today is the new feature presentation video from Student of the Gun Video Enterprises called Home Invasion Shower Gun. And, well, I'm going to go ahead and I'll give you the synopsis, because we're not going to play the video. Or we could. Well, we'll put the video link in and you can watch it at your leisure.
We could put a preview of the video.
Yeah. So my point is this. Here recently, but I was thinking. I'm like George Wallace. I be thinking. And I've had a shower knife in my shower for 10, 15 years, a long time. And the shower knife that I have, you're like, shower knife? Like if I'm naked and soaping up and somebody kicks in the door, I'm not going for the plunger. I'm going to be standing there naked, stabbing you to death if you kick in my bathroom door. You're like, wow, that's pretty severe. Hey, you bought the ticket. You get the ride. So the shower knife that I have is a Spyderco, and I've had this knife so long, Jared, that they discontinued it. No, I've got a Spyderco. It is the H1 steel. If you work anywhere around water, high humidity, salt water, whatever, Spyderco deserves every penny that they get from this, because they're smart. They took chances, they invested, and they created a steel called H1. H1, see, the problem with steels is you need carbon in the steel generally for it to hold its edge. Because if it's all 100% stainless, it won't hold an edge. It's too soft, right? So you need the carbon in there to hold the super sharp edge. What they did was they replaced, I'm pretty sure I'm speaking correctly, the carbon with hydrogen. And that's why it is the H1. We're talking about metallurgy and molecules and all this kind of stuff. But here's what I can tell you. The knife that I have, I believe the knife that I have in my shower was originally called the Atlantic Salt. They've changed some of the names over the years. It doesn't matter. It's a fixed blade. And Jared, will you testify for the people at home that H1 steel is absolutely the real deal?
Oh, it is, absolutely. We've taken it in the ocean, down in the Gulf Coast. We've taken it into humid climates. We've taken it in the pools, all over the place. And it doesn't have any rust on it.
I hung it in my shower for 10 years.
Yeah.
And it is spotless. And it is still shaving sharp.
And
I carry that every day, actually.
So
nice.
there you go.
And speaking of your shower, I've got the video ready if you want to do a quick preview.
Oh.
Do you want to do that?
Man, let's let people be surprised.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, the knife that I have hanging in my shower is discontinued. But that's okay. They still have H1 steel knives. They have the Pacific Salt. They have the Saver, which is a rescue knife. And if you go on, just search on the internet. So I was thinking, this situation here, shower knife is good, but what would be better? A gun, right? Are we going to put a gun in a shower? Because what is the enemy of steel?
Water, steam.
Steam, humidity, heat and humidity, right? Heat and wet and hot. You put a gun in a shower. Jared, did you ever take a shower at TR and see Jay's shower knife?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
See,
I would not. I mean, I don't want to be stabbed in the first place, but that knife specifically?
It was a Morgul blade.
Yeah.
When Jay stabbed you with that knife, it was going to break off inside of you and you were going to die of tetanus.
Yeah.
Jay kept a Morgul blade in the shower.
That's funny.
But, all right. So I thought, I'm a smart guy. So I went to the internet.com. Can I get the prop? Can I roll over here and get the prop? Because it's right there, but it's just out of my reach.
Yeah, go over, roll it, and get it.
We will keep there from being dead air. Isn't that right, Jared?
Yeah, he went to internet.com and he was looking for this thing and he found it. He went to internet.com and it was only about 20 feet away from him.
So I went to internet.com and I got this orange marine dry box. It has a rubber gasket seal and it has latches on it. So if you were, these are the kind of things you put on boats. You're going to put stuff in them that you don't want to get wet, humid, salt air, ruined, right? So look what fits perfectly in it.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet with those grips.
Yep. So excuse me while I whip this out.
Thank you.
So let's go ahead and clear it so I don't be like Alec Baldwin. There you go. America.
Oh, look at that.
So I've got a High Point C9 with America grips on it. See, all of you High Point haters, you're like, High Point. Okay, shut up. Go to internet.com or go to your favorite dealer. You get one of these for less than $200. You get this for about $20 or so. You take real killer ammo. You put it in there. You oil it up. You stick it in the box. What's in the box, man? And seal it up. I don't know. Put a bracket in there, double-sided tape. I don't care what you want to do. It's your house, man. And that goes in the shower. It's there. It's orange. It's sealed up against moisture. And if you need it, great. If you don't need it, then leave it alone. And you say, well, I have kids. It's not going to work for me. Well, sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Put it up high enough. It'll
Put
work.
it up high. Unless you think your kids are going to scale the walls of the shower or something or whatever. Or let me see. Okay, this one doesn't have it. You could get one that has the seal, put a little seal on it, like a little hole where you put a little plastic seal and then the seal breaks. Mm-hmm. But my point is this. It's not crazy to think that you should have a gun in the bathroom. It's not crazy. It's actually pretty smart. You're like, well, do you? Yeah, because I walked in there and
did you? I was about to say, did you know that if you carry a gun, you have a gun everywhere you go?
If you carry a gun on your body, everywhere in your house that you go, there'll be a gun there. Yeah, but I can't just carry a gun all the time. I got a push ad for one of these magic lock boxes, and they had it, and they had in the little 30-second video, they had the toddler walking around, and they're like, and it sees a gun. They're like, "Don't let this happen to you." And so I commented, I said, if you bought a good holster and attached the gun to your body, it wouldn't be laying around.
Yeah.
And the person from the company wrote me back, "Are you trying to tell me that you carry a gun all the time?"
Yes, I do.
Actually, yeah. Where can I put my gun so that my kids don't have access to it? On your body. Attach it to a holster, strap it to your body. You have control of it always. Well, that's not practical, says that person who doesn't carry a gun. You can't just carry a gun all the time. Why?
You can, actually.
Because you can't. Yes, you can. You just need to put some effort in it. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. So I have, obviously I always have a gun on me, around me, within reach. What did Jeff Cooper say?
What are you, a tinfoil hat wearer?
When Jeff Cooper wrote his book, he said, what did he say? If you cannot reach your gun within 3 seconds, you have missed the point of this text.
And go. 1, 2, 3. If you didn't get it.
Yep.
There you go.
There you go. You ever get those things, Jared, where your friends, they forward you, and it says, the object to your immediate left is your defensive weapon. Go. What is it? And I'm like,
boom.
And people are posting things like toilet brushes and kitchen knives and stuff like that. And I'm like, you guys are amateurs. Or if
I have a grenade launcher. I don't know what your problem is.
If I broke into your house and stole what was on top of your refrigerator, what would I get? Whenever I see that, I type the word shot.
That's pretty funny.
If I broke into your house and stole what was on top of your refrigerator, what would I get? Shot. Moving on.
So the shower gun video will be available on Wednesday as this drops.
Yes.
If you're listening live, then you got to catch it next Wednesday. Zach will have it available for you. And I believe, Zach, are you going to put the link in the show notes?
Yes, indeed, I will.
Perfect.
All right. And I got to give you guys a real quick caveat. For all you cinephiles out there, you're like, hey, you should have set the camera up horizontal to get a full. And it's like, do you know what it's like being in a bathroom, setting up a tripod, trying to shoot the scene in a shower?
Yes.
You don't have a lot of room. So I had to shoot it vertical, climb down off my back. That's just the way it is.
Well, if you guys want to see how difficult it is to film in the shower, you can go to my OnlyFans and you can like, subscribe, and share. Hey, the founding fathers of this nation said that we should use every single outlet available to us. That's what they said.
Which would that be? Would that be a pamphlet, a broadside?
That would be a broadside for sure.
It would be a broadside for sure.
Actually, it would be an almanac. Oh. Because it's completely detailed and very long.
Is that like a book full of almonds?
Yeah.
Almanac?
Almond. All right, bleep. That's all, folks.
All right, kids. Tomorrow will be Thursday. And if you are a vaunted member of the grad programmage, if you are a grad program member, we will talk to you tomorrow, and you'll be glad that you're there. If you're not, Jared, how can they fix themselves real quick, fast, and in a hurry?
Go to getsotg.com, follow the instructions there.
That's right. And if you did that, you would already be watching episode 8 of Real Men Wear Shorts.
Yeah.
There you go. Until the next time that we're together, children, remember, you are a beginner once.
You're a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.